Recording. Excellent. Welcome, everybody, and the replay viewers. I'm Carla Sean, and this is episode 2 of what's going to be called Conversations with Carla. And I am interviewing and having conversations with change makers and people that I find really inspirational that want to change the world in whatever unique ways that they have to offer. And today, we're very blessed to have Shelsby, who I also consider a dear friend of mine, and she is a business freedom expert. Welcome, NJ.
Thank you. Great to be here.
So, what is a business freedom expert? And yeah, so let's start off with that. What does that mean?
Well, one of the things that I've noticed is that business owners, they tend to have their business consume their lives, and they miss out on a more rounded, fulfilling life. And so a business freedom expert is about helping business owners to get more done in less time so that they actually have time for their life, so they get free of their business.
Awesome. So who are you and what do you do? Do you consider yourself a coach, a consultant? Like, what do you, Yeah,
all of the above. I do coaching, training, consulting. I do, some process and systems work for business owners. I do coaching. I lead training programs, both live and online.
Yeah. And you're amazing. I've been blessed to be in a couple of your programs, and I think one thing that I love about NJ from a personal and business perspective is she has a way of seeing things like crystal clear, the longevity, and she's also really good at seeing of how you're getting in your own way. So I think that you do that really well.
Thank you.
So let's give people a little background. You know, why should we trust you? Yeah. Okay. How did you come to this place?
Well, I started in the corporate world. I worked for big companies like Allied Signal. I've worked at Microsoft. I worked for a company that we designed and built medical equipment. And so I worked on things that were meaningful, and I worked really hard, long hours. And to the point that my health suffered, my relationships suffered, and I just got burned out and realized that this wasn't the secret to life, just working more hours, even though I was working on building equipment that would save people's lives. And so I went to work for myself.
Well, when you say long hours, I just is that 8 hours? Is that 12 hours? Like, what is?
Yeah. So I typically worked at least 60 hours a week, and there were days that I literally worked 24 hours straight. I would get to work at 6:30 a.m., leave 6:30 the next morning, go home, sleep for a couple of hours, shower, get up, and go back into work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was that attachment to, you just have to get things done, that achieving. And so I got burned out. I picked up an autoimmune disease. My marriage fell apart. My son, who was 12 at the time, was leaving me notes on the table. Mom, how come I barely ever see you anymore? Mm. And so I quit. And I started my own business. And I realized that I didn't work any less hours because it wasn't the job that was doing it. It was me, and that I'm a worker. And yeah.
So let's again, that's huge because a lot of us we'll switch relationships.
Right.
We'll change jobs. We like to project and make people wrong. My life sucks because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Right. And so what a beautiful awareness of, hey, actually, I was the one who was working my own ass off because I want to be an overachiever, or maybe not even over to you. Right. Achieving to you is probably overachieving for most humans.
Right. Exactly.
So would you consider yourself type A personality?
Yes.
People?
Yes, definitely type A, overachiever. Yeah.
And is that the type of people that you like to work with? Like, do you like to work with other type A's, like, CEOs or entrepreneurs, and then help them, not show the error of their way, because there's something that's really beautiful about that drive, but do you show them how to alter their energy or direct it in a different way?
Yes. And I'm a pretty intense person. I grew up on the East Coast of the United States, and I'm pretty intense. And so people who are type A are better able to handle me. And because I'm very direct, I tell it like it is. And yeah, so and I don't want to have to convince anybody. If they are perfectly happy with their life being one-dimensional and it's all about work, more power to them. But those people who are working long hours and they're not feeling fulfilled and they want a more fulfilling life and they're not sure what to do differently, I'm here to help them.
Awesome. So a few people have joined. I just want to say welcome. And in case some people don't know about Blab, if you put your cursor over our face and click on it, that gives us props. And that's just kind of lets us know that you like what we're talking about, if it's engaging. If those don't come, we sort of will steer a conversation in a different direction. So it's literally instant feedback for us. So let's hop in, and the title of this is Work Less, Play More, Earn More, and we talk about purposeful strategies. Right. So let's jump right in. What are purposeful strategies? And so take it away from there.
Sure. So one of the things that I've really noticed is that as driven overachievers, we tend to treat ourselves like we're machines. And we think that we just, pour some kind of fuel in. And, caffeine generally is the fuel of choice for most overachievers. And we just keep going. And when you, drop dead, tired, you take a nap and, or sleep, and then you get up and you do it all over again. And we're just going. The reality is our energy systems have a flow of, expending energy and then recovering. Just like an athlete, professional athletes would never dream of not resting in between periods of working hard. In fact, I'm a football fan. I watch the Seattle Seahawks.
Yes, you do.
And it's funny how often it's obvious to those of us watching the game how if the offense doesn't do a good job and they're off the field right away and the defense has to go right back on, they don't get enough rest. And after, a couple of times of that, they can't hold back the other team's offense. It's like it's obvious to us, they didn't get a chance to rest, they can't work as hard. But yet we can't see that in ourselves.
So
one of the biggest strategies that I find is to take time to rest. And one of the things that I've recently implemented is a day of rest. And this has been life-changing for me. I am somebody who worked 7 days a week, holidays, and the idea of I didn't need the time off. And so in this day of rest, literally, I do no work. We don't cook dinner. We don't do dishes. We'll have some kind of food prepared ahead of time that we just heat it up. The dishes get stacked next to the sink. And we don't get on our phones at all. No text messaging, no emails, Facebook, nothing for 24 hours.
And I just want to stop right there for a minute, because I know you really well. I stayed at your house for a while. And so just the idea of dishes being stacked up is mind blowing to me. So type A personality allowing the dishes to be stacked up is beautiful. The one thing that I want to add to this is, one day of rest, brilliant, especially in this society, right? We have our phones, we have the computer, we're always connected. what I have found is even when I'm resting, my mind isn't.
Right.
Like, I'm like, oh, I need to fix my website. I need to do this. I have to do that. So even though I might not be working, my mind is still working, even though I might be going for a walk or something. Mm-hmm. So what do you share with your client? Because type A personalities, I doubt that their mind actually stops. So what do you suggest to those of us that it's challenging to turn it off?
Yeah, well, the mind really just needs something else to focus on. And when it's given an objective, it tends to move in action towards fulfilling that. And the objective is to play and have fun. And so for that 24 hours, that is the objective. And so, you know, I've started painting again. I worked on my wedding scrapbook. I just had my 10-year wedding anniversary and haven't had time for 10 years to finish it, right? And so I'm putting my time into that. I'm reading. And so I think that it's about consciously giving your brain an objective to play and have fun.
Awesome. Okay, great.
And it's interesting to note that in taking that time, because again, 7 days a week, I would get up and first thing in the morning, I would work for a couple of hours. And taking this time off to do no work, the number of ideas that I have has just like quadrupled, and the energy to implement them, the focus has drastically increased. It's really been amazing.
Yeah, that's great. So the more time that you have off, what you're seeing, not only do you feel rested, but your work is improving and like the ideas are just flowing. Have you noticed, because I know, at least for me, and I know a little bit for you, like we go, and then we'll crash.
Yes.
Right? So have you noticed, like, since you're taking the foot off the gas, like the crash isn't happening?
Yes. And I find that doing that 24-hour day of rest, it allows me to rest other times. Like you and I had a call scheduled yesterday, and it was Sunday. And even though my day of rest is from sundown on Friday to sundown Saturday, because we can't miss football on Sundays. So, so even though Sunday, it was no longer my day of rest, I didn't have my phone with me. I was totally unplugged, and I was in my craft room practicing with my watercolors and just painting some landscapes. I was just totally relaxed and chilling. So it's kind of, it takes you off of that hamster wheel that you just going, trying to get somewhere that you're not really getting. And it allows you to ease up.
Yeah. Do you find that then Monday morning that you're more inspired for work than you have time off?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
And so how does working less, playing more actually allow us to earn more? Like where does the earning more come in?
Yeah. Because when we're working all of the time, we are not at our best, and we're doing more busy work than anything else. Studies have proven that your performance declines over 40 hours. And so by working less and being more focused and purposeful in the work that you do, you'll actually make more money.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Let's see. Anybody have any questions for NJ right now? Go ahead and type them in the comments. But it's a blab, so we want to be interactive. So what other tip could you give besides taking that day of rest?
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that you talk about wanting to make more money. First thing in the morning, don't check email. Spend 90 minutes totally unplugged and working on the most important thing to grow your business. You do that the first 90 minutes and you will see your business will transform. All those big things that you never have time for will just happen. When you think about one, every day focusing that time over the course of a week, that's 5 days versus, and then a month, it all stacks up and you will see incredible things happen in your business.
So the first 90 minutes, you focus on whatever in that moment is the most important thing for your business. So that could be doing an email or a website. Like it doesn't matter what it is, as long as it's
So I mean, I wouldn't do it as writing an email, but maybe your the email messages in order to build relationship with your customers, or creating an e-course, or creating your video to connect with your users, or creating a new product. Those high level things that you never seem to have time to, that you intend to do, but you never have time to do, that focusing on them, those leveraged activities that will really grow your business.
Awesome. So Janet asked a question. Does it help you work less because you are clear on what you really want, so you don't waste time on things that take you away from what's most important?
Yes, Janet, good question. That is exactly. It is a matter, you have more clarity, you're more focused, you have more energy. Focus is a funny thing. It comes from both having the idea, the clarity helps you focus, but also you need to have the mental energy in order to focus. And when we take that time away from our phones, where we're always checking, that is kind of wearing out our focus muscle because it's very ADD. And so by taking a break from that, it does allow our brain to be able to focus better.
Yeah, great call, Janet. Okay, let's see what other questions. So we had a few questions that were sent in. So what do you do with your clients? Like you're an expert, you help people all the time. Like, what is, a typical session with NJ, if there's a such thing?
Yes. Yeah, it is definitely depending upon the person, but there's 5 fundamentals for a fulfilling life that I've discovered. And so I look at where they are, where they're needing help. And in fact, there's a blog post that has an assessment that people can look and see where they are having problems with having a fulfilling life. If you want to post that link.
Okay.
And once I know what areas they're challenged in, and then it's a combination of both purposeful strategies that I've been studying, time management, systems, process improvements, all of that kind of stuff for, oh my God, too many years to even count, like 20-some years. And so it's a combination of those practical things. And then I do some inner game stuff that is unbelievably effective, that they're doing studies now that show things like, mindfulness and meditation and just these kind of, new techniques that, I mean, they're not really new, but, they're newly recognized.
Yeah.
That combining the two just has phenomenal results in your ability to work less and get more done. Great.
So the link that I posted, that will take them to your blog, and it's a assessment.
Right.
What is that assessment? What results will that tell them? Like how they're doing, or?
Right. So again, there's 5 fundamentals to a fulfilling life. And so the assessment allows them to see how they're doing in each of the 5 areas.
Oh, got it. Beautiful. Okay, great. Let's see, any other questions? No questions right now. I just want to welcome some people who just joined, and we're interviewing, or I'm interviewing or having a conversation with NJ, and she's talking about how working less and playing more will ultimately enhance your bottom line financially. And NJ really focuses on, I mean, you know, as a coach, we could help anybody, but she really likes type A, high achievers, because they match her energy, because that is totally her. And she basically helps them redirect their energy where they could be more efficient and effective and have a meaningful life. So I just wanted to catch up the new people who joined. And we could open it up. If anybody has any questions for NJ, if you want to hop on, and like, not just questions of like, how did you do this, but like, hey, this is what's going on in my life. Do you know, let me just open the seat. So if anybody that's on here wants to get some coaching via NJ, and of course I'll chime in a little bit because I can't resist not to, but yeah, feel free to click the little call now or ask to join, whatever it is, like in the middle of your screen. And we'll be happy to work with you. Until then, we'll just continue to talk. So what are the five, go over the five areas.
The five fundamentals?
Yeah.
Okay. It is relationships, rest, fun, health, and work. And so just to go into a little bit more detail on those. So relationships, you know, the quality of your relationships really is the predictor of your level of happiness. And so it's about feeding those and having good, healthy, connected relationships. Rest, we talked about that a little bit, that, you know, if you're not resting, you're not going to be able to work as hard. You're not going to be recharged. You know, the fun. I mean, what's the point really of life if we're not having fun? That's what it's really all about. And the fun recharges you. You know, we've all seen the statistics about, and the studies about how laughter is the best medicine, and it reduces your stress, and stress is the cause of all diseases now. And, you know, so having fun is really important. Let's see, what did I say? I said relationship, health. Health. Without, you know, health, you have nothing. You know, nobody on their deathbed has said, you know, if only I had worked more hours, you know, but they certainly said, I wish I had taken better care of my health so that I would have more years to live. And so health affects all the other areas.
And even the quality, like, it may not always extend your life, but it absolutely affects the quality of the life that you're living.
Right. Whether it's your energy level, depression, your ability to focus. You know, a lot of us are walking around with chronic health challenges that we don't even realize. We just take a pill for it, and we're not realizing that our quality of life is being affected.
Yeah.
And the fifth fundamental is work. And so it is important for us to be doing work that rewards us, that's fulfilling. And that means not just doing busy work, checking email and Facebook and those things that can distract us, because at the end of the day, we want to feel that we've done something that matters, whether it's, you know, helping a client, putting out a product that matters. And so it's important that we work hard in those blocks.
So what would you say? I mean, because that's totally true. Like, I feel that 100%. Like, after I get off a call with a client, you know, helping them get clarity or clearing some blocks, or, you know, whatever it is that I'm helping them with, like, I just feel stoked. You know, It's like I'm living my purpose. But when I'm like trying to do my website or figure out what the hell to do here or there, and I just like feel drained, like, even though I'm working, it's so not in my brilliance.
Right. Exactly. Yes. And we tend to, I don't have the money to hire somebody to do this, or, you know, all of these things, you know, I can do it, so I should. And it really depletes us. It depletes our energy. We should spend as much time as possible working on the things that are in our zone of brilliance and outsource the stuff that's not, because the way that it depletes your energy, it's going to deprive you of money. It's going to take you longer to do it, and you're just going to feel crappy.
Yeah, absolutely. What would you say is your zone of brilliance?
My zone of brilliance is problem solving and making things easier, more efficient. I just instinctively know the root cause of what the pain points are.
Yeah. For those of you who are watching this live, type in what your zone of brilliance is. Like, what do you feel is your the area that what you really love doing or what you're really good at? And then also type in the stuff that you hate, for lack of a better word. Like, that's really draining, right? So for me, there's a lot of different ways I know that we could figure out what our zone of brilliance is. And for me, it's as simple as, do I get inspired? Does my energy go up, or does my energy go down? And do I procrastinate?
Exactly. Yeah, there's all of this, you can do a search online for how to overcome procrastination. And a lot of the reason that business owners procrastinate on things is because they shouldn't be doing that work. We have a gift, and let go of that stuff that weighs you down. I did this talk, I don't know, I think it was February at a chamber meeting. And one of the business owners that were there, after I talked about letting go of the stuff that's not in your, what I call the cringe. And she was literally in tears at the end of the meeting and thankful to have the permission to let go of the tax stuff that she hated doing. And just the idea of letting that go was such a weight off of her that she was like, and had tears of joy.
That's so awesome. Let's see, Janet said something. No bullshit. Can't lie to yourself when you talk to either NJ or her. Yeah. Be you and rock it. That's, Janet, love her. And that's, It's like, be you and rock it. Like, that's all that we really, we have to do this lifetime,
Yeah. And I think that you were right on when you said about just like noticing. Because when you go to do something, how do you feel about it? There's nervousness because it's like, oh, this is big. This is going to get me visibility. And then there's that just like, I don't want to do this. And if it's that, I don't want to do this, stop doing it. Take some time and figure out. Get creative. Our brain is an amazing problem solver. And if you put it to the task of finding a way to get out of doing the things you don't want to do, it will find a way. There are an amazing number of college students out there who would love to do an internship for free in order to do the jobs that you don't want to do.
Totally. You just hit on something that is literally life-changing of changing, obviously change your mind, change your life, right? Like it's a thing.
Yes.
But what I've really loved lately that has changed my life is living in the question. So like, I can't afford that, is what a lot of the mentality of that, what I grew up in. And so changing it to how can I afford that, or what do I have to do, or what do I have to be in order to do that?
Right. Right. Tony Robbins says, ask better questions.
Yeah. And being in curiosity.
Right.
So if I can't, if people don't have money to hire someone, like, it was brilliant what you just said about the intern.
Right.
And it's like posting on Facebook, right? Like, hey, I need help with this. Is there someone, building their portfolio, or you're looking to be a part of an amazing team?
Right.
There's a lot of people, coaches and businesses out there where just to be in their environment is rewarding enough.
Right. And here's the other thing that I learned a long time ago, that when you create a compelling vision, you inspire people to want to join your team. When I worked on the medical devices, when I was talking about, engineers would leave other companies to come work for us and take a pay cut because what we were doing was really cool.
Yeah.
And so when you create that exciting vision that is yours and you share it with people, they will want to get on the team. They will, say, oh, I'll work for 3 months for nothing, or whatever is the right thing at a lower cost or something. And so you have to set your vision and just make it a reality.
Yeah, and I think the other thing, I know your target market is people who are already in business and they're working their little tushies off, and they need, they don't need, but they would enjoy to have more time with their family and still have their business, working really well, if not better.
Right.
But for those of you who are watching, whether live or on the replay, and maybe you're not there yet. Right. And now I sort of forgot what my point was.
Well, and even, my target market has been in business for 5 or more years. But I think that in a lot of cases, they've lost that exciting vision for their business.
Yeah,
now they're stuck in the day-to-day. And so it's hard for them to get people to come work for them. They have, because they're not creating this compelling vision for the people to want to join the team.
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that, because you reminded me what I was going to say. And the idea is, I think what stops us, and also what you were just saying, is we have this big vision. Like, we have a purpose, but we don't know how to get from where we are to that purpose.
Right.
And we think we have to know it all. And then people will start this business, and then they're doing all this monkey work versus just going out and being the spokesperson for their passion and saying, hey, I'm creating this amazing thing. Like, this is my passion. Who wants to join me? And then you get other people to do that work. Right. Because it's in their brilliance.
Exactly. Because when we are stuck in the grunt work that we don't like to do, it wears us down and it takes us away from our inspiration and our joy. And then we just get to the point that we're just kind of stuck in the muck. And we're like just uninspired and tired. And
one of the things that that this has reminded me of is the person that I interviewed last week or almost 2 weeks ago, Charlotte. So she's a spiritual entrepreneur and coach. And I'm going to hold off on having you come in just 1 second. And one of the things that she was saying is, like, it blew her mind to even think about, like, an accountant who would do work for her that's also spiritual. Like, she like business and spiritual, like, a lot of people don't see them coming together.
Right.
And so the more that we really step into who we are, and spiritual could mean a lot of things, but the more that we really shine who we are, you're definitely going to attract those people.
Right.
So hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second. So people, if you want to join in, we would love to have you on here and we could have a conversation. Type in the comments just who you are and what sort of questions, just because we want to make sure that this stays on track. So that's it. So just let us know who you are and if you have a question or what you would like some coaching on. Okay, continue.
Don't quite remember what I was going to say, but that's okay.
So I see, we have a handful of people on here. Does anybody want to hop on and have NJ coach you a little bit, or have any questions about freedom? Financial freedom, freedom to hang out with the family. Okay, great. Janet's going to hop on. So let's. Hello, Janet.
Hi, Janet.
Hi, NJ.
Hi.
Thanks for the coaching call. That's awesome. Guess for me, because I move around a lot, I haven't, well, that's my excuse. Sorry. I haven't built a structure that helps me focus. So I was just wondering if you had any suggestions for someone that's traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Like I guess I can keep like my business the same, but where I do my business is always different.
Yes.
So if you had any,
I do.
Cool.
I do. How about creating a morning ritual?
Cool.
Yeah. So having a morning ritual that regardless of where you're waking up in the morning, that you do the same things is something that is very effective. There's a book, The Miracle Morning, by Hal, and I can't remember his last name, but he talks about the importance of the morning. That is one of our most productive times. And so starting that ritual, doing maybe a couple minutes of meditation, maybe moving for a couple of minutes, and then spending like a focused 90 minutes focused on tasks that will actually grow your business. And if you do that before you do anything else, you're going to see your productivity drastically increase.
Great.
Okay, thanks. So I guess, do I have time for one more question, Carla?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cool. For me, I've just kind of flicked the switch that I want a business and not an expensive hobby. Okay.
Yeah, good for you.
So taking a lot of inner work, and I appreciate all the help you've given me to get to there. So how would I define what grow my business would look like when I don't even know what the business is that I want?
Right. So there is, first you need to define that, and if you don't know that yet, then look at just short term, what your short term needs are. So, I know that you are an amazing coach and healer. And so maybe you have a goal that right now I want to, get some clients. And so what it would be to support that, but if you can get to the place where you're creating your big vision, and I know that for you, it's going to be a really big one, and it may be a little bit difficult to step into because it's going to be big and scary because you are amazingly powerful. And so if you can step into that, then it would be about, just kind of like go backwards and like, okay, so what do I want it to look like? And then what are the steps that I have to take in order to make that happen? And then in those 90 minutes, you want to be working on those things that you have to do.
Okay. So with that, I've actually given myself an opportunity that I'm going to Toronto for the weekend, and I'm locking myself up with about 20 people, and we're going to get our book done no matter what.
Great.
And the books, well, okay, I guess the book's going to be like a calling card, okay, instead of like, well, here's my card. It's like, well, here, if what do you do? Well, here, read my book. Okay.
Great.
So like right now, I haven't got the defined business yet, but so
it sounds
do you have any ideas for me?
Your book though is something to focus on. And so that first 90 minutes every day, you should work on writing your book.
Yeah,
don't check
even
email, don't check Skype, don't check text messages, don't check Facebook. Your first 90 minutes, work on writing your book.
Now, I'm just jump in. So your brain works really well in the morning.
Yeah.
My brain works well in the afternoon or evening. Mm-hmm. So like my morning ritual, hang on, I'm getting feedback. I'm going to take out my headset and put it back in.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's better. So for my 90 minutes is focusing on like meditation, working out, getting my bulletproof coffee, like getting the fat in my body. Like I focus on my health right away. So does that yeah, what do you think about that? Like,
so you're right. Different people, their brains are, at their peak time at different times. And so we definitely want to, be very knowledgeable about that. So I find that for me, if I get up at 5:30, that's when I feel the best. And if I take that time to exercise first, I'm losing that prime brain time for me. And so you want to have a morning ritual that supports you. So if your brain wakes up slower, do the exercise and the meditation first, and then move into the tasks that require your brain. If your brain is wide awake first thing in the morning, minimize the number of other things you do first, and then do your brain work, and then do your exercise and meditation. But regardless of whether your brain wakes up right away or not, stay off your email, Facebook, all of that kind of stuff. As schedule time later after you do your most important work before you look at any of that stuff.
Got it.
I think for me, knowing myself, if I did the 90 minutes of writing the book, no matter what, I could actually look at going for a walk or doing something physical as a reward, as opposed to like, if I put it right away, I got to do that no matter what. It's right. I'm too much of a rebel.
Right. So, yes, you are a rebel.
If I think of a creative way, so that's awesome. Thank you. Those are really amazing strategies, and I promise to implement them. Yeah.
Great. Exercise is something that is very important for maintaining our energy and our focus of our brain. I am not somebody who is gung-ho to exercise. And so I have to kind of play with it a little bit there. And I tend to exercise on my treadmill with my my iPad set up, and I watch inspirational videos or things that are going to that I'm going to learn from. Because for me, as someone who is a gotta get stuff done kind of a person, I can justify taking the time to exercise because I'm also feeding my brain.
Okay, I got you.
Totally. Anything else, Janet? Any other questions or comments?
Nope, not for today. That's got enough. Well, okay, I do have one. How do you keep yourself motivated? Okay, if I do get the ritual, props for me. Okay, if I do get the ritual, how do I keep on track?
Yes. So a couple of things there. So number one, we have to have that big vision. And so, be focused on why you're doing this book and how you're going to feel when it's done. Have something to pull you forward.
Yeah.
And you want to review that regularly. Check in with that.
So Janet, let's talk about that just for a minute. So I know you really well too. I feel so happy. I have, two people that I love and adore on this lab. So I know, like Rainbow Children is one year, like heart songs, basically.
Yeah.
What else, or maybe that's it, but like, what is the bigger vision? Like what do you feel your purpose is, in addition to your passion?
Well, I think I can write the book now because I just had to live it before I could write it.
Okay.
And so now I can reconstruct it. But it is the journey to self-love. Like, love yourself no matter what. Like, do what you got to do no matter what. And that's the radical responsibility. And actually, I guess last month or so, it's been understanding how I lie to myself and like getting rid of the bullshit excuses. So as far as going to write the book this weekend, it's like I can either do it because I've gotten the team, I've gotten everybody ready to help me, so there's like totally no more excuses. So if I hit the wall and I can't do it, okay, that means I really don't want to do it, which is like what you were saying about that's your cringe or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But like after this weekend, it's either done or I'm going to let go of the excuse that I'm ever going to do it, and I'm never going to start feeling guilty about not writing the book.
So what is
that's where I'm at.
What is your passion? Like, do you have a bigger vision of like, what do you want to do, or to help or to inspire or to educate, or like, what's
the purpose of the book for you?
For me, it's just to just get it out of the way so I can, you know how you declutter your house? It's just I've got this in my mind.
That's not a good reason to write a book, to declutter your house.
No, what I mean is to declutter the excuses, to just get that out of my way. I'm either going to do it or not do it.
Yeah, but it could be a distraction. You know, if you're writing the book to declutter, it could be that you're distracting yourself from some bigger thing that you're here to do by writing this book. So let's explore that a little bit. Where do you feel like by writing this book, you're going to really make a difference and help somebody? Like, tap into that.
Okay, well, it goes back to like advocating for the inner child, like what you were saying, and really healing the inner child. And it would be to give people like the big picture on how to heal the inner child. And I had to heal mine to be able to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
So tap into
the whole thing. Yeah. The whole thing is that at the end, like the prize is to love yourself enough. So if you get to the prize where you've loved yourself enough, then you don't have to save anybody else. So the purpose for the book is like, it's not a purpose for the book anymore. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I see what you just did there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's, if I wrote the book right now, it would be just like to be able to, it's something I know, it's something that could maybe give me some seed money to do something else. Mm-hmm. And it would be useful and valuable to a lot of people.
Right. So,
but I'm not like driven to
useful and valuable to a lot of people. Tap into those people and your desire to help those people. Make that the fuel that gets you to sit down to write the book.
Yeah. But it's not an obligation anymore. If I do it, it's just for the love of it.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different reasons why we write books, right? One is to educate. One is just to be a good storyteller. One is like a how-to, which I guess is also in the education. So, this is going to be your first draft, right? So the fact like you're getting it out of your head on paper or in audio and have it transcribed, however you decide to do it, is freaking brilliant. And I just want to like applaud you for doing this, like taking this step. Maybe you need to do that. And then like the real reason why or what you can do with that material might show afterwards. Because what I feel from you is like you made a decision and you want to get this done. And I agree with NJ 100% of like, if we're doing it for someone else, like if we want to teach or educate, we think about them, not us. But if we want to tell our story, like just to get it out, like we focus on us and then we could alter it so other people could understand. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
NJ, what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think that we have to look in and find our motivation.
Yeah.
And make sure that it's not just a distraction to keep us from doing something bigger and scarier, but find what our motivation is and tap into that so that we can have that fuel to actually get it done.
Yeah. And as a coach and healer, I mean, having a book, whether it's 20 pages or 2,000 pages, is really great, because people get to read your words, and they get to understand who you are. And so I think it's great that you're doing that. I just, my hat tip to you. Congratulations.
Okay. Thanks. So,
and allow yourself to focus on this book as your avenue, and spend that focus time on that until you either decide, you know what, this really isn't the right thing for me. I'm not scared of doing it. It's just I was going in the wrong direction. But don't allow yourself to play in that zone where it takes you, 3 years that you're, saying, oh, this is what I intend to do, and you're not doing it because you're doing all these other things and distracting yourself. Put all your focus on that book.
Yeah.
Get it written and out there. Unless you come to the realization that, you know what, I don't want to do this book. It was this obligation I thought I needed to do, and I don't. This is what I'm here to do, and you go over and do that. Don't play in that gray zone of like working on it forever.
Yeah, that's why I kind of said this weekend or forget it.
And keep in mind that, writing with, fingers on a typewriter or keyboard, that it's a different process than talking the book out. And so if it's easier for you to just talk the book into a recorder and then pay somebody to transcribe it, that might make it happen a lot easier and a lot faster for you.
Yeah, and that ties totally in with what you do, like as far as like making it fun and easy, as opposed to like it being a struggle. So thanks, Coach. That was awesome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, love you guys.
Thank you, Janet.
Yeah, great. David Frank says there are too many BS distractions today. That is so true. Yeah, absolutely. And as business owners who want to work less, play more, and earn more, we have to really be aware of all of those distractions on our attention and fight the war against them so that we can focus on the most important things and get them done so we can go home and play. Because there is an unending list of things to do. There's new apps out every week to check out. There's just so many things that can pull our attention away.
Absolutely. So we're coming upon the hour time. Does anybody else want to hop on and get some coaching or just to share some of your brilliance? If you do, click on like the call now or call in, whatever it looks like on your screen, and we would happily have a conversation with you. NJ, you have a couple of programs.
Yes, yeah? I have a couple of goodies for people.
Yeah.
So, you put the link up for the assessment. Highly recommend people take that assessment just to see where you are, where your challenges are, to be able to have a fulfilling life. And there is a free monthly call that we work on implementing some of the some strategies in order to work less. And you can sign up for that. It's Get Free Call, and Carla has the link. She can post that. Again, that's a free monthly call. And I also have a 5-week course coming up. Make time, meaning make time for the things that are important in your life. And I have created a coupon for the listeners of this blab. And so the class is regularly priced $497, and there is a $300 discount for people listening to this blab that makes it $197. Just type in the code Carla, capital CARLA. And again, it's a 5-week class with videos, with strategies in order to make more time, and then with weekly coaching calls for the implementation piece. Because learning more strategies doesn't help if you're not implementing.
Absolutely. And I'm going to just put all the links right here so they're all in one place too. So I saw some people just joined. And we're just, make sure you watch the replay. We're ending this amazing conversation / interview with NJ Shelsby. And she has a few things that she's offering to everybody. So one is a assessment that you could go to her blog, and the link is on there. And I will also have all of these links in the YouTube notes as well, because I'm going to upload this to my YouTube channel. And then she has a free call, monthly call. It's a free monthly call?
It is.
And when is that? When do they happen?
It's the first Monday of the month at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Okay,
great. So free call, free assessment, and then she's offering a huge ask bonus and discount for if you guys want to join her 5-week Make Time class. And that starts on November 9th, and it skips, obviously, Thanksgiving week. And if you use my name, Carla, with a capital C, you get $300 off. So it's only $197. And so obviously you need to sign up before November 9th. Great. Anything else? Any last, motivational tips or ideas or anything to give these amazing viewers?
Just remember to rest. You are not a machine, and to build a more successful business, you need to rest more. To have a more fulfilling life, you need to rest more. The secret is all about resting more, because then your brain is more able to focus. You have more energy. You get more inspired ideas. Einstein did not come up with the breakthroughs that he did in the lab. He came up with them laying on the grass, staring up at the clouds.
Absolutely.
It's not, it's not a mystery that you get your best ideas in the shower. When we take that break and we stop working, that's when we get our best ideas.
Absolutely. Okay, great. Thank you so much. What is your favorite food?
My favorite food?
Yeah.
My favorite food. Wow. Probably crabs. I'm from Maryland, and so crab cakes and that kind of a thing. Yeah.
Awesome.
With Old Bay seasoning.
That sounds delicious. I like to, ask some questions that have nothing to do with what we talked about to bring the creativity, into the room. So on a final note, David shares he's going to go take a nap in his shower. So he's going to get double the inspiration. Dave, I'm so glad that you joined us. He's a neighbor right now, so that's great. So thank you, everybody, and stay tuned. Like me or follow me on Blab. Follow NJ. I'm going to be doing these interviews almost every day, and starting in November. So see you guys on the flip side.
Great. Thanks, Carla, for having me. It was a real pleasure to be on this call and interact with everybody.
Yeah, it's an honor. You're brilliant. And the more people that know about you, the better. That's my theory anyway.
Thank you.
All right. And all you have to do is just click the X to hop out, and then the Blab will be done. Thank you, guys.